time to check out some gear, some merch, some fight goods, some consumer goods like somebody sent me. I did a YouTube video last year after Timex sent me one of their cool UFC watches. And so I thought, let's do an unboxing and a review on that. And I thought I could do the same thing, whether it's UFC gear. Maybe if I start getting back into jiu-jitsu, I'll start reviewing some gis or some no gis, some equipment, some apparel. But this comes from a guy named Mac. And I think he goes on YouTube by Albino Manatee. And he had this idea, as I said at the top of the show. I'll send you some Panini cards. I have an extra box, and you can just open it and see who you get, do a card unboxing, tell a story or two about the fighters that you get on the cards. So let's see what we got here. And I got to apologize to him, too, because he sent me this in September. And I just didn't kind of have the wherewithal to fit it in the content plan anywhere. Oh, here we go. Look at this. Here we go. I've never seen one of these up close, actually, one of these boxes of Chronicles. Here we go. See who's inside. Albino Manatee. He's got a logo. He's got his own logo. Dear Brendan, I hope you enjoy the cards as much as I enjoy your commentating. Appreciate all the work you put in to improve the show. P.S. Heard you like Gaethje, so here's a red prism. This one is from a different set. Hope you pull a Patty or a Gaethje auto. Let's go. Thanks so much, Albino Manatee. All right, I got to put this card up on display here on the wall. So it gives me this Gaethje. A red prism Gaethje to start us off in the card. Super nice one. Let's see what it says on the back. Some finishes matter more than others. Justin the Highlight Gaethje had the biggest stoppage of his career at UFC 249 when he defeated Tony Ferguson via TKO in the 5th round. Gaethje's victory ended Ferguson's famed 12-fight win streak, and it also made Gaethje the interim UFC lightweight champion. Remember that. UFC 249, Jacksonville, Florida, May of 2020. First event back in the pandemic. What a moment. All right, let's see who we get in this box. And maybe I won't do all of the cards on this one. Maybe we'll have to come back, do a part 1 and a part 2. Quick Gaethje story, though. I called 2 of Gaethje's fights. One was against James Vick, Lincoln, Nebraska, and another one was against Cowboy Cerrone in Vancouver. And I hope you're sitting down, but he had first-round knockouts in both of those. Crazy. Crazy fighter. Crazy athlete. Here we go. Unboxed it. And see what we get. Oh, yeah. We're definitely going to do more than one part. There's 8 cards per pack. And I got 6 packs. Let's see who we get. 8 cards per pack. I should open up 1 pack and do a 6-part series. We'll revisit. Oh, my goodness. The first card that I look at. The first card that I look at. I opened it up. I see this. Wow. Get yourself some Khamzat Chimaev. Beautiful cards. Well done, Panini. I'm gonna have to trot down to the store somewhere. I don't know. There's no baseball card stores anymore like when I was a kid. Get some hard cases for some of these goods here. Jeez. Who else I guess an all-star lineup here? Kamaru, Usman. This was his fight at UFC 268. That was their rematch at Madison Square Garden, UFC 268. I remember the other one, UFC 245, when they went into the 5th round and Usman got that stoppage. My wife and I went to 245. I was sitting next to Gilbert Burns. This one is from the Madison Square Garden one, New York. Okay. Got another Chimaev. Got a Chimaev with a crown on it. Okay. Now let's see. Get it in focus. Now this one says 5 UFC fights, 5 wins, 1 new star in the making. Khamzat Chimaev needed less than 2 years to assert himself among one of the top welterweights in the world. His thrilling victory over former title challenger Gilbert Burns at UFC 273 marked his 5th straight octagon win and brought him up another level. Yeah, that actually was voted the fight of the year Toyo Tires Fight of the Year. It was a president's pick by Dana White. Chimaev and Gilbert Burns was his Fight of the Year, which is kind of an upset. I thought it would have been Glover Teixeira, Yuri Prohaska. Here we go, another champion. Panini Contenders in 2022. This is a season ticket variety. Islam Makhachev. Of course, he's no longer a contender. He is now the UFC lightweight champion, and it's about to put his belt on the line against Alexander Volkanovski in a super fight. All right, what was this one? Oh, called this fight. You could say Islam Makhachev treats mixed martial arts like bowling. In bowling, you have to knock down 10 pins. Makhachev earned a strike with a swift submission victory over Bobby Green at UFC Fight Night. Makhachev versus Green. That put him in the elite club of fighters who have won 10 in a row in the octagon. So I called that fight Makhachev against Bobby Green, main event. And who was he supposed to fight? Makhachev was supposed to fight somebody else. And he ended up fighting Bobby Green. Beneil Dariush, that's what it was. And it was due to an ankle injury for Dariush. He was replaced by Bobby Green on just 10 days' notice. It was a catch weight, 160 pounds. And if you remember, Bobby Green, I believe, just fought 2 weeks before that. And Bobby Green fought in Houston against Nasrat Haqparast. He got a victory. It was 5 victories in his last 7 fights. He had a great fight against Rafael Fiziev. He had a big win over Ally Quinta at Madison Square Garden. Remember that. Follows that up, and it was in February. Fought Nasrat Haqparast in Houston at the pay-per-view to start the month. And then 2 weeks later, he headlined on February 26th against Islam Makhachev. Earlier this year, or late last year, he's in a great fight in December against Drew Dober. We'll see what Bobby Green does next. All right, so Islam Makhachev's next one in the tank. Here we got another one. Another champ. So this is like all champions pack. I mean, I don't have any idea what these cards are worth, but it's like Zhang Weili, another major star. I mean, I know it's all like how rare the cards are. So it's like if there's, well, this says there's 156 of 199. I mean, I got to think 200 cards is kind of rare for somebody, right? Don't they? I know that if you have only 199 of a UFC strike, an NFT, it's going to be worth something because there's like thousands of the other ones. So there you go. That was in a fight against Rose Namajunas. Oh, one of the guys who fought at 283, Davison Figueiredo is our next one. Another former champion, guy who's held the belt. Let's see what this one's from. Make no mistake about it, Davison Deuce de Guerra Figueiredo is one unflappable character. He showed his determination and composure when, after losing the UFC flyweight title to Brandon Moreno, he got right back to work, set up a rematch, and won their trilogy fight, becoming the first ever 2-time 125-pound champion. I actually didn't know that. I didn't know he was the first one to lose the 125 belt and get it back. But I guess when you consider that Demetrius Johnson never lost the belt, and then Henry Cejudo had it, and then Davison Figueiredo had it, and then Brandon Moreno had it, then I guess that would be the simple case. So there you have it, Davison Figueiredo. Called a few Davison fights on the way up. I actually called Davison Figueiredo in Belém, Brazil. It was my third event with the UFC. I called Fresno in late 2017. Then we went to St. Louis in January. Went to Belém, Brazil. And he's from Belém. And he was still just a prospect. And he was one of the first fights of the night. The building was loud, though. He got a big stoppage win in the first round, I believe. Then he also fought Tim Elliott in Tampa. Tapped him out early. All right, now we got some prospect here. New dad, the future Ian Garry is next up here. Hot prospect, the future Ian Garry used his length, skirted the octagon fence, and forced Darian Weeks to stand and throw en route to a unanimous decision win at UFC 273. In the post-fight interview, the confident Irishman called out the welterweight division when he told UFC president Dana White, "Line them up, I'll knock them out." Well, I mean, I don't know. Just went to a decision, and then you said you'll knock them out. Anyways, congrats to Ian and his wife, Layla. They got a new baby. And Ian Garry, certainly a lot of people want to see what he does next. Oh, my good buddy. My good buddy from the New England Cartel. Oh, and this is from his epic fight, probably his best career performance, certainly over the course of a 5-round fight. Calvin Kattar. What up, Calvin? I think he's out in Las Vegas right now. He's rehabbing his knee injury, and I should go track him down and do a quick interview with him for the show so that everybody can find out how he's doing, how his rehab's going. Calvin Kattar showed his toughness when he met Giga Chikadze at UFC Fight Night. Kattar versus Chikadze, making his 3rd straight appearance in a main event. The featherweight excelled for 5 high-intensity rounds and took home a unanimous decision victory, as well as the fight of the night bonus. That also, can I say, was one of the fights of 2022. Kattar and Chikadze, mostly one-sided, especially rounds 3, 4, and 5. Kattar just started to destroy him, and Chikadze has not fought since then. But Calvin Kattar Chronicles card, that was fantastic. What a segment. Albino Manatee is a friend of the show. So, to recap, Chimaev, Usman, another Chimaev, Islam Makhachev, Zhang Weili, Davison Figueiredo, Ian Garry, and Calvin Kattar.